All right. So welcome to today's Globe Observer Connect event. We've really enjoyed having these conversations once a month, and as I said before we got started, it's been a great opportunity to get to know our volunteer community and to be available for questions. And today's event is maybe a little less formal. In the past few, we've had our science leads talking about some of the new science or interesting science around some of your data collection. And we thought, summer's been pretty busy, so our science leads have give them a little bit of a break. And we thought today would be a good time to tell you about some of the updates to the GLOBE program that we think you'll be benefit from and be interested in, as well as answer just any kind of general questions that you all have. So I'm going to start. Give me half a second to share my screen with you. Here we go. All right, and let me go to slideshow mode. Are you still seeing my slides?
Yep, looks good.
Great, thank you. So I wanted to tell you about a couple of things that the GLOBE program as a whole have done in the last month or so that I think our observer community or volunteer community would be really interested in. And one of the big things that they've been working on for a really long time, and we've been supporting, is this new membership structure for GLOBE. And what this does is it creates so everybody that joins GLOBE starts out as a citizen scientist, so as a volunteer. And then you have the opportunity to join additionally to kind of elevate your membership, if you will, into one of the other categories. And there's a new category now in GLOBE called informal educator or volunteer coordinator. And so that really is anybody who uses GLOBE with a group of people. So if you're leading, an after-school program, you're a 4-H leader, or a Girl Scout leader, you work in a library, or you just do community science with a group of people in your community, you fit in this category. Corporate volunteer efforts, all of that. And so there's this new category for you that will really help you meet your needs. So you would, when you go to, this is all on the GLOBE website under About or Join, and you can click on the Create an Account, and this is the screen you're going to get. So you can select that new informal educator volunteer coordinator category, and this is what it takes you to. It will call you a GLOBE educator. So it's a broad category that includes both teachers and informal educators. But just know when you see the term GLOBE educator that it does apply to you. Or if you're not ready to do the training that is required to be a GLOBE educator, you can select GLOBE Observer. And that gives you access to the app. And actually, I'll show that on the next screen, what it gives you access to. So as a GLOBE Observer, it gives you access to the visualization system, the data. You can look at research reports, all the education resources. You can do the GLOBE Observer protocols. You can submit research, your own research. You can create a GLOBE team, so you can work with a group, join a GLOBE team. You can see your observations. But this new educator account now gives you your own little landing page with your own organization. It will be called Informal Education Organization. And within that organization, you'll be able to create student accounts or accounts for participants that are anonymous. So if you're leading a after-school program or a youth, out-of-school program, you don't have to worry about the privacy of your participants. In this informal setting now, you have access to those anonymous accounts. Your organization will appear on the GLOBE website, which will make it easier for you to collaborate with other people. You can submit data for all the protocols, so all of the nearly 50 that GLOBE has to offer, not just the ones inside the citizen science portion of the GLOBE Observer app. So when you become this, you will see that you will have access to those other protocols in the app. And you'll be able to collaborate with more people. So it gives you a lot more support and a lot more resources than have been available to you before. So I think it's a really exciting move if you're in that setting. The other cool thing that it came out at the same time is these user roadmaps. So I know sometimes Globe is really big and complex, but it has a lot of really wonderful things to offer its community. And it can be hard sometimes to navigate through all of those opportunities. And these roadmaps make it easier for you to do that. So if you can start as a citizen scientist or the informal educator category, select what best fits you. Here's the informal educator one. You go to that roadmap and it gives you kind of a checklist of things that you can do, things that you need to do, and then things that you can do to get involved in Globe and what's available to you. And I don't know, I love checklists, so this speaks to my soul. I really love this. And all of this is under the training portion of the Globe website. So here's the citizen scientist one. And then they have under training, this new tutorial center. So it's all of the training resources gathered together in one place. So to help you scaffold up and build out your capabilities within Globe, it's all there, all in one place. And it's much, much simpler to navigate. So that's on the Globe side, on the globe.gov website. We have a sub-site for Globe Observer volunteers for citizen scientists. And on that sub-site, observer.globe.gov, we have a toolkit for informal educators. And this is just resources to help anybody leading other people in doing Globe, using Globe Observer. That toolkit we've had for a while, but there are some new resources in there. The first I wanted to highlight is Kristen has been working really hard on putting together some Eclipse slides for training. And actually, Kristen, I forgot I was going to have you do this part, so I'll let you say this.
Well, no worries. So just to introduce myself, Kristen Weaver, I'm the Deputy Coordinator for Globe Observer. So I help Holly with coordinating all this stuff for citizen scientists and informal educators. So yeah, so we are working on some guides that are sort of audience specific. So we already have one for Girl Scouts that's up there that coordinates with the Girl Scouts using Globe Observer, the app for observations. And then we've had a 4-H one just for clouds for a while, but some new ones that we have, this library guide that you see here on the left that has some resources kind of specifically focused for audiences if you're working with libraries. And some of the content is still coming. Some of it's up there, some of it is you'll see coming soon. So it's still in progress, but it is up there and on the website. If you look under the Observer website, under Lead a Program and Guides, you'll see the library guide listing. And you can also get to it other ways as well, but that's kind of from the homepage. That's how you would get to it, or just observer.globe.gov/libraries. And then we're also working on a guide for summer camp programs or after school camp programs that will be coming soon as well. So we're trying to use the resources that with Globe Observer and data collection, but with some specific audience-focused things that might be helpful for people leading programs with those. And then, as Holly mentioned, we're working on some resources for the Eclipse, and we have under Do Globe Observer and Eclipse, we have some things that are focused for individual observers that might be doing observations during the eclipse, how to take observations. We're constantly working on more things for that, and as we get closer to the annular eclipse in October 14th of this year, and then the total solar eclipse in April 8th of 2024, we're constantly adding new things as we develop them and as we come up with new ideas or get new ideas from our community about what would be helpful. And one of them that Holly is highlighting here is in the Toolkit for Informal Educators about eclipses, and it's a resource guide, kind of describes how to do eclipses, but it's a presentation that you can use to help people who you might be working with to do atmosphere observations during the eclipse. So of course, you know, lots of people are focused on this neat astronomical event, but you can do some earth science with that, with the eclipse as well. And so we have an information page about some effects you might see in the atmosphere. We have these training slides. That this one is, this section that's highlighted here is the introduction and safety, but it goes into how to use the app. And then we have some more planned, a little bit about more of the science of that we've studied in the past about earth science observations during the eclipse and some other things. But again, we're constantly adding new things as we get them done, and working on translating. Some things are translated already. The Atmosphere one pager is already translated, that talks about what changes you might see in clouds, temperature, and wind. But also, well, this presentation, the Globe Eclipse Preparing for 2023 and 2024, we are working on getting that translated to Spanish as well. So just keep checking back, because we keep adding new things there.
All right, I'm going to stop my share, because that is all I had, just in terms of just showing you what some of the new things are. I wanted to open it up for questions or conversation. Is there anything folks here would like to chat about?
And while people are thinking about that, the other thing is that we do have on our website, as well as the Globe website, the Globe annual meeting just happened in July in Denver. And a lot of the focus at the Globe annual meeting does tend to be on the more formal educator audience. And but there were some really interesting keynotes. There's a nice summary of the meeting that is available, that we have a news item up on our website. It's, I think, available on the main Globe website, the Globe YouTube channel, but a nice, you know, sort of 10-minute summary of the meeting, as well as some really interesting keynote presentations. So one was actually about the sun and eclipses. One was about the water cycle and studying the water cycle, and then one about like research education and research trips in Antarctica. So those videos are, there's a playlist for the Globe annual meeting on the Globe YouTube page, and then we also have a news item up on our Observer website under news. So if that's of interest, there were definitely some interesting speakers, and that doesn't capture all of the speakers that were at the Globe annual meeting, but just a few of the highlight ones.
All right. Any questions or comments?
And I would say, I see Matt Cass put a comment in about a virtual presentation for two-year colleges preparing for the eclipses. If you, one of the things that is actually up in, that I just got on the toolkit yesterday, is I did a presentation for the Night Sky Network and Eclipse ambassadors about the eclipse. So if that's helpful, that recording is now also on that Toolkit for Informal Educators page. So and I think I need to link there. I did a shorter one for Earth to Sky, which is park interpreters. And I haven't gotten that one linked on the page. I need to find that recording and link that directly as well. So if any of those things are helpful, or, you know, feel free to reach out through the contact us form on the Observer website, and that gets to me and Holly as well. Or yeah.
So I'm curious, of the people who are here, maybe just put in the chat how you use Globe, or if you're using Globe with your community. Or if you want to speak up, this is fine. No, that's fine too. Or if you don't yet, how what is your interest in Globe, involvement in Globe?
Or maybe other resources that might be helpful. I think we've stumped them, Holly.
I know. Well, I was my follow-up question to that was going to be, you know, Globe is clearly putting a new focus on helping people who are leading in their community, bringing NASA resources or Globe resources to other people. And we've worked really hard on our informal educator toolkit. There's these new support, the user roadmaps and the new membership structure to support these groups. And I was just curious, as end users, what kinds of things would you find helpful? What's still missing there? Which I think is maybe even a harder question. So Solar System Ambassador, and great. Youth library audiences. I think you will find actually both the Girl Scout guide and the library guide helpful, because it kind of combines both the youth audience and the library. I think the library guide too also has some suggestions or some case studies about how people have used Globe in the library setting. And a lot of libraries really do tend to use it for youth programming. So I think some of those might be really useful as well. Middle and high school teachers to adopt Globe. Excellent. Yes, and Dem Globe is community outreach events, which is fun and sometimes a little challenging. Is there anything? I think that was Matt that I saw posting that.
Well, and I think one thing
in terms of community outreach events, is there anything
that I think there might be a little bit of a lag, but I was going to say one thing that was also a change that I think Holly mentioned, but maybe didn't talk as much about, is it should be a lot easier for people to sign up for a Globe Observer account. One of the things that we changed was that, or we changed, I say we, that the actual app development people changed, was that instead of having to wait for an email to go get a password and log it in, you set your own password and then just verify your email. So sort of a small thing, but hopefully that will make it easier for people to download the app and get the app at some of these community outreach events. And so we're trying to do things like that make it just a little bit simpler for people to download it and get their account set up. So hopefully that will help with some of your community outreach events, Matt.
Yeah. And I think I'm having some connection issues. So if you don't mind, I'm going to close my video just so that I'm not so laggy. I think it's on my side. So we'll see if this helps. Well, I've really enjoyed reading the chats. I was going to ask if there's anything in particular that would be useful for supporting community events that you find missing. That we love to do clouds with communities and their activities, but maybe we need to format them differently or provide suggestions for tabling activities or something like that. Or recommendations, things that you found have worked really well. Because I think we have a number of solar system ambassadors in here who do tend to do public community events. And feel free to just speak up. You don't have to put it in the chat. Okay. Following up with other chat things. Doris, if you're not comfortable with this, just say so. It's okay. But I am so curious about what you're doing. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about what you do with the Ministry of Public Health and how GLOBE is a reference? So you're collaborating about malaria and mosquito protocol. I know that that's a big deal. I live in New Mexico, and we have been getting, for the first time recently, some invasive Aedes. And Rusty can tell me exactly which one it is because I am not as well versed in it as she is. The tiger mosquitoes. We've been getting those here for the first time, and actually found one in my yard, which was shocking because I never have mosquitoes. It's so dry here most of the time, but it's been so dry. I think they're really drawn to water, like in the yards, because there's not water anywhere else. And so, and I know those have been a big disease issue. So yes, I got to use that protocol myself to keep my yard safe this year.
You don't sound very excited that you had to use that protocol.
I know it was a little scary, to be honest, but I found so many larvae. I had to dump out our swimming pool.
Oh my gosh.
So we heard from Matt and Carol and Doris. And Brittany, I believe you commented on libraries. Albopictus, thank you, Rusty. Jessica or Lauren, is there anything you'd like to add about how you use GLOBE or anything we can do to support you?
Well,
all right.
Hopefully,
well,
yeah, hopefully some of that information about some of the updates and things is helpful. And if anybody, yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, let me, as kind of a last thing, this is the Observer website. Let me just go to the home page, which I could probably do an easier way, but we'll do it this way. So here's what our site looks like. Is that showing up okay for everybody? I have my window pretty small, so I don't know how well it's showing up. So here's our homepage. If you think of questions after this conversation and you just want to reach out or you want a one-on-one conversation, it's easy to reach us. Go to observer.globe.gov. Here's the About section and contact us. I know this goes to a form, and web forms can be scary, like it's going into nowhere, but this actually generates an email that goes to me, it goes to Kristen, and it goes to a few other people on our team. So if one of us is out, somebody's going to be able to respond. So it's the best way to reach us, just because you're reaching multiple people on the team and we can get it to the right person more quickly this way. So that is, if you think of something later and you want to reach out, that is the best way to do it. There's also in the Observer app, there's a contact button in there, and feel free to use that as well. And then just since I'm on the website, the toolkit here is under Lead a Program. You get to that toolkit, you can select your protocol. We talked about Eclipse, so I'll click there. And here's where all those resources that Kristen had been talking about are, including, scroll a bit, here's the slides. Those slides, which you can take and modify and use however suits you. And then the guides for individual groups are right here under Lead a Program. You can click on the guide landing page and go to your specific, or just go straight to whichever one you want. And there's our library guide. So just to show you how to get to all that inside the website. But thank you for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun.
And just a bit of a plug for next month, our September Go Connect will be talking to some of the work that some of our interns were doing this summer. So on some data quality flags and some getting some land cover satellite matching in place similar to what happens with clouds. So stay tuned for that. That'll be our September topic.